All right, hello dancers and hopefully dancers' families. Mom, dad, brother, sister, grandma, grandpa, aunts, uncles, cousins, whoever is welcome to join you for this, because this is not going to be a strictly ballet video. This is just going to be stretching and strengthening and working on a little bit of flexibility. So it's really geared toward anybody. Hopefully you're staying nice and warm on this cold November Thanksgiving week, but this is great warm up for the morning, great warm up when you come in from maybe some leaf raking, or maybe you just need a little bit of post-feasting body movement. So go ahead and turn on some tunes in the background, your favorite music, maybe some Christmas music, whatever. I forgot that I can't play music and record from my phone at the same time. So if anyone has a great app out there they want to suggest to me, sweet. So otherwise, let's just get started. Make sure you've got plenty of space, something to move around in. We're going to start with some reverse lunges, and I want you to make sure that your knee is behind your toe, not over in front of it. Otherwise, you're going to really stress out that knee joint. So every time you alternate into that reverse lunge, just keep your knee over your heel or behind your toes there, all right? So let's just stretch up, reach up every time. We'll do 8, 5, 6, and 7, and 8, and reach up and over and back together. And every time you come back up, really engage underneath here. I should show you from this side. Engage from under here. You should be able to do that without pushing from that, or without using that back leg. Push off of it, and all of that's coming from under here, all right? So up and over. Reverse lunge, twist in and out. Reverse lunge, twist in and out. Again, reach in and over, and switch, and in and over. Good. Shake it out, warm up your arms just a little bit, mostly just because I'm trying to warm up. There aren't 100 bodies in this studio tonight. It's just me, so help me warm up. Good. Get your muscles warmed up, your blood flowing, and then you can stretch and work on flexibility a little bit better. All right, toe touches, opposite, and it's okay if you have to bend your knee a little bit, that's all right. What we're really working toward is to lengthen that leg all the way and lift as far as you're able. Maybe scoot back a little bit. You'll travel forward. And reverse back. Good. And now we're going to go back into those lunges, but this is going to help to stretch and work on, if you're a ballet dancer, it's going to help your releve just a little bit. I'm going to stretch through the back here while also strengthening that posterior chain. So you'll lunge down, and as you stretch up, keep that foot pointed, all right? Hands on hips, pick up some weights, whatever you need. Plie and stretch, or lunge and lengthen. All right, you should feel a stretch in here. You should feel a stretch in the back of your leg. You should feel your glutes and hams working. And switch. I didn't count how many, so we're just gonna pretend we did 8. So down and back up. It's not a forward movement. Your shoulders are going up and down in that same plane. Good, so think more of this knee going down and less of that knee going forward. Good, shake it out. Again, I wasn't counting, I was talking. All right, good, we've got some good dynamic stretches. All right, shoulder bridge. So get down on the ground, and we're gonna work this posterior again. We're gonna work some core. So I need to scoot this way, and If you're a dancer trying to work your devant extension, this will help with some of that strength there. So grab a mat or a towel or a blanket or a pillow if you need. I've just got the Marley floor, but I'm doing all right. Actually, make sure that your feet aren't going to slide on your carpet, so they have a nice grip. And we'll press into that bridge. Make sure you've got a nice straight line from shoulders to hips to knees. It's not pressing your hips way up here, because we don't want to arch that back so much. Just a nice straight line. Extend your leg. Don't let it drop down. So keep your hips even. And we'll extend up and down. 2, 3, 4, keep it up. 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. Release it down and get ready to shift for your left leg. Pressing up to that bridge. Extend out. 1, 2, 3. Watch that you don't dip down, but keep that hip up. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. Shake it out. You should feel it a little bit in your quads, a little bit in your glutes, a little bit in your hands, using that hip flexor. Same thing, but now with a flexed foot. So make sure that that flexed foot is turned out, not parallel. All right, dig it in. And squeeze the glutes. Press it up. Extend it out. Flex the foot and turn out. Down and up. Good. 6, 7, and 8. Good. Shake it out and be ready to extend that left leg out. Squeeze the glutes, press up to your bridge. Watch that you don't start sagging down as the exercise goes, but really engage. Extend it out, turn out. 1, 2. Oops, I let my hip drop. Don't let this happen. 3, if you need to support it there, to remind yourself. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. Shake it out. So we did some extensions upward. Now we're going to lie prone and do some extensions backward. Good. Okay, so like you're doing a Superman, except your upper body stays down, just supported on your hands. And you're only going to lift your legs up behind you. Try and keep it turned out, especially if you're a ballet dancer and focusing on ballet technique. If you're just family and just exercising along, keep your legs wherever you want. You should feel it in your glutes, in your hamstrings, in your erector spinae. That's your lower back muscles there. All right, so head can just rest downward on your hands, and we'll squeeze the glutes. As you engage your abdominals, try and think of pulling your belly button up to your spine off the floor, which obviously is impossible because you're laying on your stomach, but that'll help you engage it properly instead of bracing and pushing your stomach out toward the floor, which is sometimes a mistake that's made during this kind of exercise. All right, here we go. Face down and inhale. Exhale, engage that core, lift up. Good, hold. 5, 6, 7, release back down. And we'll do it again 3 more times for a total of 4. Then we'll do alternating legs. Ready? Inhale. Exhale, engage that core and lift up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, release down. And again, lift up. 2, 3, 4, really squeezing. 6, 7, and down. One more time, and up, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and down. Good. Now we'll alternate one leg at a time so you kind of get a little bit of an arabesque feeling. We'll also do those from a plank. And we'll work your abductors and adductors going inward and outward with your legs. All right, so starting with your right foot. Am I in? Yeah, I'm in the screen. Okay. So right leg lifts and back down, and left leg lift and back down and down and switch. Good. Let's do 4 more. Right leg and down, and you can keep your head face down. Left leg and down, and right leg. Good job. And down, and left leg and down. Now we're going to lift up and bring them out and in. Every time you bring your legs back in, cross, right leg under, then left leg under, so just keep switching. It's out, in, not scissor kick like swimming, okay? All right, ready? And lift, out, cross, out, keep switching. 7, 8, and 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. And press back into a child's pose. Just stretch it out. Good. So hopefully you're getting a little bit warmed up here. We'll go back to standing. And if you need a chair to hold on or a countertop or something, I'm going to try without because I didn't pull a chair over here. Okay. So we've been working on our développé extensions in some of our classes. So we'll do that from a passe. Bring your little toe to the front of your knee, and we'll just lift the knee up and down. We won't extend. We're just trying to strengthen this hip flexor and the abductor and the core and our supporting muscles. So not just this working side, but the supporting side, all right? So hands can be on hips or in first or in fifth or holding on to something next to you, all right? And bring it up, and we're going to lift and down, and lift and down. 3 and 4. Make sure that it's not tilt, but keep this side lifted. Lift both sides at the same. 5 and 6, 7, and 8. Good job. The other side now. Bring it up and lift and down. So both sides lift. I can't do that picture for you without falling over. Think of both sides lifting up your right side toward that left leg. So it's 3 and 4 and 5, whoops, off balance, and 6 and 7 and 8. Good job. You should be feeling it here. We'll do it one more time each side. So bringing it up and lift, and 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, whoops, and 8. Second side, and 1. I'm trying to do this in a single take. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. These muscles all around that hip joint should be warming up for you. Let me just check what we have next here. Working on a little bit of back strength and flexibility. So we've talked about that arabesque as your back is able to be flexible and lift toward that back leg. You're able to extend higher into a back arabesque. But if you don't have that much flexibility in your back, you can't lift the leg very far, or it makes your upper body pitch to allow for your leg to lift. So the more flexibility that you can have in your spine and in your back, then the higher you'll be able to get that arabesque eventually. So Let's just work the cat-cow stretch. So you're on hands and knees, and you just really arch it, and some of you are really going to be able to feel like you're getting that ponytail back to your tailbone. Others will look maybe more like my almost 40-year-old self and not as much flexibility in my back, and that's okay wherever you're at. The more you do this on a daily basis, it maybe is a great exercise. Just do this in the morning when you get up. You'll start to really help that mobility of your spine and get a little more flexibility there. So then you pull it up into that cat stretch. And really let your head tuck underneath. And press that tailbone out and head up. And tuck it under, pull it up. So again, pull your belly button up to your spine. Still engage the core even when you're stretching. And roll one vertebrae at a time. Really stretch it out. And tuck it again. And stretch it out. One more. And tuck it again. Pull that spine way, 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 way up. And stretch it out. Good. A continuation of there is laying prone and just pressing up into your elbows. And when you're just right here in your elbows, you can focus a little more of the arch on your upper back. And then once we press up to our hands, you can focus that arch a little more into your lower back. And again, a lot of you are going to be able to stretch much farther than I am. So really press into those elbows, engage that core, pull your belly button, your spine, and really focus on that upper back. And I'm gonna have to stop talking because once I tip my head way back, it cuts off my vocal cords. But tip your ponytail or the back of your head as far as you're able to go. Good, and make sure you're not sinking into your shoulders. See the difference there? Press, it's called scapular depression because you're pressing these angel wings, your shoulder blades down. Don't sink into it. Really press and stretch and arch back one more time. And from here, press from your hands, pressing up. Good, keep it going. And again, most of you will be able to stretch much further than I am. From here, if you want to, you can add those toes and try and arch back to it. I think the last time I could touch the top of my head with my toes, I was probably about 10 years old. So do your best, try and get there. If you're young and you can't reach it, you've got plenty of time to get there. So keep working on it, and you should be able to get your toes there eventually. And roll down, and one more time. Inhale, exhale. Good. From there, if you want to add a bridge, you can. I'm not sure that I really should do it. I'll give it a go with you. So on the bridge, make sure your hands aren't going to grab your hair. Your hands go backward to tuck under. It's not right here and pressing up into a crab walk. You need to be back. Hands come this way and tuck under right next to your head. And press up. And you can switch up your bridge by straightening your feet or your legs. If you really want to work some flexibility, you can press up into your elbows instead of your hands. But that's some good exercises to help work toward that arabesque. toward that beautiful swan attitude or that Russian attitude. So continuing from working that arabesque, let's go into a plank. So on your hands, and we'll just alternate, lifting right leg and left leg up off the floor. All right? So make sure that you're not here. In fact, after that bridge, let's just do a really quick child's pose. Good, stretch it out, round it as you need to. Good. And in fact, let's just throw a little mermaid into here too. Over. And up over. And here. Good. Now let's go into that plank with the arabesque. So from here, again, not a downward dog from yoga, but a nice straight line from your shoulders to your hips to your knees. We'll just press up. And watch when you lift that you're not letting your back go. So it's not, see how I really am arching to get my leg up? Try and keep your core really solid, keep your pelvis stable. So pull, again, that belly button up to your spine, lifting. It's not cutting off your breathing and your oxygen when you do that. So make sure it's just engaging those abdominal muscles without cutting off your lungs. But just lift as far as your hips will allow without your ribs opening up. Because if you practice it that way in the plank, when you go to arabesque, you're going to open up your ribs and you want to really keep them closed and engaged so you can stay lifted without disengaging that core and disengaging your ribs. So only lift as high as you can. It's about quality, not about height here. So just engage the glute and hamstring and the lower back muscles and lift and down. Let's keep it the same leg. 1, down, 2, down, 3, down, 4, down, 5, down, 6, down, 7, down, 8, and child's pose. And then we'll press up to the other leg. Plank, and 1, down, 2, down, 3, down, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. And child's pose. All right, now what happened to the flexibility, right? Well, we're getting into that. I think we're just about there. Okay, good. So just laying on your back and keeping your supporting leg straight. Pull your knee into your chest. Lengthening it out and point. Flex and bend. Lengthen and point. And every time you lengthen it, try to keep the knee where it is and lengthen toward that knee. Obviously, my knee kind of comes back up from there. You're really working that range of motion in your hip and trying to extend into it. And give it a few gentle pulses, not the kind that'll tear your muscle tissue, but just gentle tug, tug. Good. And flex and bend. And lengthen and point. And flex and bend. And lengthen and point. Now open it to the side. And back up. And open to the side. And back up. If you need to throw a dish towel over, you can hold on to that dish towel right there and open it out and in if that's easier. And last one. And bend, lengthen through. Pull that knee to your chest. And lengthen and point. And flex and bend. And really get that stretch to the back of your leg. And lengthen and point. And flex and bend. lengthen and point, and give it some gentle tugs. I sometimes forget about my supporting leg. Try not to let it come up here. And flex and bend, and lengthen and point, and flex and bend, and lengthen and point, and open it out to the side, and bring it back in, and open out to the side, and bring it back in, and out to the side, and bring it back in. All kinds of noises in the dance studio when it's lonely at night. I keep hearing thumps from the heater going on and off. All right, just gonna pulse, lift your head up to it, pulse, pulse, and switch. Pulse, pulse, and switch. Pulse, pulse, and switch. If you need to bend your knee, go ahead, but you're really cutting off that stretch in your hamstring. As soon as you bend your knee, you've released that stretch, so try and keep that. Make sure it's opposite hand, right hand to left ankle pulling, just so that you're not opening it out, but try and keep it right in front of you. So pulse, pulse, and switch. Pulse, pulse, switch. Good. Pulse, 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 and pulse, pulse. Good. Sitting up, you'll grab your foot, so just from a sit-up position, not rounded back here into a slouch, but really work on engaging and pressing up into these sits bones rather than back into your tailbone here. So lengthen that spine, open up your shoulders so they don't crouch forward, pull the shoulders back into your spine, lift and switch, and lift and switch, lift. You'll just feel a little bit different stretch through the leg than when you're laying down. Lift and switch, flex it. Keep it turned out as you continue to stretch. And flex, lift and switch, lift and switch. As I fatigue, I'm starting to slouch, so really be conscious of pulling those shoulders back. Last time. Good, shake it out. All right, back into our lunging. So give yourself a nice wide stance, all right? We're just gonna go into a deep second, good. Wanna press those knees back so that you're really working on stretching right within here. Good. Rock it back and forth. All right, now keeping your shoulders up, extend, and then walk over. Flex that heel. Flex that heel. Good. And remember, I'm not going over, so see I'm not letting my knee go beyond my toes there. Still keep your knee above your ankle so you're not stressing out that ankle joint or that knee joint. Good. Flexed or pointed. I kind of like to flex it. Good. All right, now moving into that long runner's lunge. All right. I need to turn this way. So as you're here, just give it a nice dynamic bounce. It's okay to do dynamic stretching, kind of bouncing through it, as long as it's not super jolty and it's really pulling. So I wouldn't want to make it a big movement that starts to suddenly pull at my hamstring or pull at the front of my legs here and my hip flexors. But that little gentle bounce, more and more science is really showing that that helps with flexibility almost more than the static stretches. Actually, definitely more than the static stretches. So both hands to the inside now. Try and keep that knee up and long, don't let it bend. And then bring your elbows down. If you're not that far, if you're up here, that's fine. Do it wherever you need to be. Try and work toward having your elbows down though. Now you can place your knee down. And here's where I always forget to have a pad under my knee. So I'm finally warm enough to lose the sweater. If you're on a hardwood floor, you might want a towel or a sweater or a sweatshirt to put under your knee here. All right, so there is a diagonal line now from my hip back to my knee. My shoulders are up and my hips are pressing forward so that I'm really feeling that stretch through the front of my thigh. Good. And stretch it forward and you'll just feel it differently. And if you're able to, and sometimes you might need something to hold on to for your balance, pull that toe up. Try and get your heel to your knee. And ultimately, if I was more flexible than I am, I would like to be in splits and still be able to pull my knee up, and that would be a really nice degree of range of motion. Good. Release it out. And flex your foot. And opposite hand to your foot. Again, if you're up here and that's all you've got, that's fine. Just try and really focus on keeping that front leg straight. Nose down to your knee. And really focus on your breathing through stretching. Take a nice inhale and exhale and let yourself release into the stretch further. And breathe, release. Good, opposite side. So that nice deep runner's lunge, keeping it long, keeping that knee behind the toe. We're just gonna bounce through it. Gentle bounces. One hand on either side of the leg or both hands to the inside. And elbows down. Good, get that towel or cushion ready for your knee. Coming on up, and again, a nice diagonal line from your hip back to your knee. You're really focusing on pressing forward and focus that stretch right here into your hip flexors. You'll feel it in your quad, especially when we pick the toe up. Good, pressing forward. And pick your foot up. Pull it in. Hold something for balance if you need to. It's a really nice quad stretch. You can lean forward. That changes where you feel the stretch, but it's still a really good stretch. So wherever you need to be for it. Might just need to lean forward for the sake of balance. And now flex that front foot, opposite hand comes across to that foot. Again, if you're up here, that's okay. Eventually, you'll work your way down. Inhale through the nose, exhale all the way down to the knee. Release into that stretch. Good, all right, now I should have maybe done before and after. Have everyone warm up a little bit, do splits at the beginning and then do splits at the end and see if you get a little bit lower. But our muscles should be nice and warmed up. We should have loosened up our hip joints a little bit, stretched those muscles around. So let's go ahead and give it a try. Right leg split. Get out of the way. All right, come on down. Again, if this is all the further you are, I want that front leg straight so that you're working on stretching through the hamstring. and starting to stretch through that hip flexor. And then eventually you'll make it all the way down. Or if you're further than that, you're here, still make sure it's your front leg that's straight. If you need to bend a leg in splits, bend your back leg. Good. Despite the cold weather, I'm almost down, so it's a nice warm up together, good. And you can roll it in and out. You'll feel it stretch differently through your hips, through your muscles, and forward. And arch it back. And forward. And arch it back. Good. And shake it out. Come out of it slowly. Bend your legs slowly. I don't want anyone snapping out of it and letting your muscles have this rubber band effect. So let's switch sides now. Left leg. Again, if you need to start it up here and you just have your front leg straight and your back leg bent and you're leaning forward, make sure to be leaning forward to get that stretch here. All right, and if you can go further, let's go further. Not quite as far on my left side as my right side. Roll it in and out, and let's do that same thing. Take a deep breath and release into the stretch, because sometimes you're just tensing all your muscles up, and if you can just give them a really quick relax. So inhale, exhale, release further into it. Good, I maybe got a ½ inch more. And forward. And arch it back. And forward. And arch it back. Good. And slowly come out of it. Good, and let's just give ourselves a nice little pike stretch. So flex your heels back and lean it forward. Inhale and exhale. All right, excellent job. Hopefully you got a little bit deeper with your splits. Do this one again, but take a before and after picture. So do your splits at the beginning and then splits at the end. Do a couple of weeks of this, and hopefully you'll see a progression week after week and get your splits further down. So, all right, good to see you all. Well, see you. Hope to see you in the studio soon. So. Have a wonderful and happy Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for all of you. I'm thankful for technology that keeps us moving, even though we can't be together. All right, bye-bye.